All right, it's latter part of January 2024. I'm at the Hilton in Zhongshan, China. Year of the Dragon, and it's been a busy month. Haven't done a video in a while. Been at our suppliers working, and this is the. Usually, I go back and forth. I stay either at the Zhongshan Hilton, or I go over to the Sheraton. I'll burn out at one, and I'll migrate to the other. They both have decent little bar areas. Cut back on that though quite a bit, thankfully. But yeah, this is there's a mall that's attached to this, so it makes it convenient. There's a Starbucks that's adjacent, which even makes it more convenient, both at the Sheraton and here at the Hilton. So it's not bad. But we had our Chinese New Year team dinner, and I posted the picture of our teams and sources on my my LinkedIn account, and maybe I'll attach it to this as the banner. We just had our Chinese New Year dinner celebration, first one in like 3.5 years because of COVID. So it was really nice. Had a nice turnout. Pretty emotional. We hadn't lost any of our team members, and so it was and sources. So it was really, really, it was really nice. Now this here in front of me is a tea table, and they take their tea serious here, and so they'll put together the concoction and let it steep, and it's pretty cool actually. For those of you that are really into your tea. You can do a lot worse than Taiwan and a lot worse than here in China. I get pu'er tea, pu'er, P-U-E-R-T, P-U-E-R, tea, and it's made in South China. And boy, is it good. It's very expensive. I was once at a tea shop in Taoyuan, Taiwan, and went into this shop, and there were these two huge blocks, and I'm like, well, what is that? And the proprietor said, well, it's pu'er tea, and they were $250,000 each, and the blocks were maybe about the size of this little tea cup sanitizing unit. So there's two of them on top of one another, and they're like $250,000 each. So that was entertaining. I'm like, seriously? And so yeah, it was pu'er tea. So I get a lot of pu'er tea. I don't get that degree of pu'er tea, but I get a lot of pu'er tea out of China here, and so I drink it, obviously, or give it away as gifts. But it's good stuff. So it's pretty. They take their tea serious. This is a really cool table too. This is a tea table, and you'll find these all over Taiwan and China. And they take their tea, like I say, it's serious business here. Very serious. Tea's good for it. Pu'er tea is especially good for your intestines, energy, cleanses you out. Does have some caffeine though, so you got to watch some of the caffeine in it. But tea time in Zhongshan, China. I like Zhongshan. Zhongshan's about an hour, hour 15 on the ferry from Hong Kong. And I've been coming here for the better part of 30 years. And it's changed a lot, obviously, in 30 years. But you could do, I've never felt unsafe here. And it's okay, It's not bad. People are nice. Our source factories our major source factories here, and we've got a lot of T2s that are around here that support the source factory. So yeah, it's getting close to Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year and Tet holiday coincide February 8th to the 15th. So my team will be off. We just celebrated it with our Chinese New Year team dinner, and I was excited about it. It was really, really nice to see the team together and enjoying one another's company. Right on the eve of Chinese New Year, Year of the Dragon. And I'm really thankful to that my team made it through COVID. Our sources made it through COVID. We did lose some people at our Vietnam factory, unfortunately. Really sad, candidly speaking. Our quality inspector at one of our sources passed away because of COVID, leaving behind a wife and 2 kids. So we've tried to do our best to support her, and the factory's done a very, very good job. The supplier's done a very good job of providing for her. It's really a tragic deal. I imagine being a stay-at-home mom in Vietnam and losing the breadwinner, not having a safety net, and having 2 little ones that lost their dad. Daughter was probably about 8, and the son was probably about maybe 6. Yeah, I mean, it was really mentally tough when we met with her and handed out a check to her. It was terrible. I mean, I don't know how to say it. It was one of the worst. It was one of the worst things I've ever, frankly speaking, it was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, as far as going through I just, it made me really, it humbled the heck out of me, boy. I'm like, wow. I mean, this is life. And so, I gave a lot of thanks that my team made it through okay. Because, boy, I tell you, that was just the most heart-wrenching experience to look at her in the eye and know that she's left with 2 little kids, no dad, no network at all. And I was very impressed with our source. And I was impressed with our team and our approach toward trying to do our best to help her out. And we stay in contact with her now. And it's not a money thing. It's just the emotional part. That's very, very difficult as well, along with the monetary impact. These red envelopes usually put in some money to wish good prosperity and luck to our team. And so the other night we gave out 88 RMB, renminbi per envelope to our staff. So those are always kind of nice. It's a tradition. And what's interesting in China, and I'll leave you with this because it puts it into perspective. We're all about gifts and presents and whatnot in the States to celebrate Christmas, which is fine. That's our celebration. In China, when you give out Chinese New Year bonus, in China, a lot of folks pay back their parents for raising them, and so they use their funds. It's an expectation that as your parents get older, that you obviously you take care of them physically and monetarily, and then you pay your parents back for raising you, and also in a lot of instances, it's the parents who raise the children. If you and your wife obviously have children, and you're both working, the parents raise them. And in a lot of instances, the folks that are in Southeast Asia or south part of China, which is where the jobs used to be plentiful here, not as much anymore because of the economy and things have moved to Vietnam. If they had children, their parents would raise them. And so they may only get to see their children twice a year because they're working here in South China, and they're not they're not able to be with their their family, their children, and so funds go to support that. So it's a different meaning than going to your local, going out and buying gifts and whatnot. They use the funds to help support their family and the obligations that they have. So Chinese New Year has a little bit different. It's sort of like a mass migration too. I can remember back in the day, Chinese New Year in this area, a lot of the folks came from, like I say, the northern provinces or out west provinces of China, and you're looking at some of them 30 hours. Buses, planes, trains, you name it, to get home. And it's a pilgrimage. It's like the human version of the Serengeti. Everybody going one way outside of Guangdong province. And so it just it changes you over a period of time when you're around that. I mean, I've had staff that have gotten stuck in places that we've had to help out. Like anything else, we used to give them the Chinese New Year bonus in cash, and we don't do that anymore because, pickpockets, and what do? Then they've lost face, they can't pay their family back and whatnot, and I end up digging into my own pocket to make sure that they're taken care of because you don't want them to be adversely affected. So things like that start to really, over a period of time, they really do change, or they've changed me as a person to be a lot more mindful and aware and humble and gracious as it relates to, sort of what you have and what you don't have in life, what's important, what's not important. Just more mindful at the end of the day. And so, I'll say this, that Asia has taught me a lot more and contributed to me a hell of a lot more than I have Asia. That's for sure. But it has changed me to the extent that, the team that are that I have the privilege of working with and that report into me, they're like family. You really want to take care of them because how much struggles they've gone through in life, and that you're trying to better their life. And at the end of the day, if you can contribute toward the betterment of someone else, that's not a bad way to live your life, in my opinion. If you can make somebody else better, make somebody else's dream come true, then you know what? That makes it all worthwhile. At the end of the day, you look back and say, well, what did I do? What did I do for somebody else? Not what did I do for myself? And you know what? That's a really nice sort of way of going about your day. And when you see somebody else's dreams come true, it really does makes it all worthwhile. So anyway, it's the year of the dragon, and I'm at the Hilton Zhongshan downtown hotel, and I'm getting ready to go over to Dongguan. It's a Saturday. I'm getting ready to go over to Dongguan. I got meetings, and then I've got to go to a Source dinner, Chinese New Year dinner tonight, and then I got to go into Hong Kong tonight because I got a meeting on Sunday, and then Sunday afternoon I'm gonna take it easy, and I'm gonna spend the night in Hong Kong. Maybe I'll crack off another video, and I'll then head to Kaohsiung on Monday morning, bright and early, and I have our Taiwan team Chinese New Year dinner. And they're happy. They already got their bonus, and they'll get their red envelopes as well. And then it's back to the grindstone, meetings, and then I got to go back to the U.S. And I think I'm gonna spend Chinese New Year in Tet in the U.S. and I'll come back to Asia then third week of February. So there you have it. You know what? It's latter part of January 2024. I got to get used to that. 2024. And I'm in Zhongshan, China. and I'm at the Hilton Hotel.